So welcome to today's fitting, joined by Adam Hughes, long-term friend of Precision Golf, and we have a very specific MO today, don't we?
Yeah, I've got a problem at the end of the bag.
So in terms of shot, is it a particular shot type? Is there a kind of a gap distance-wise in the bag? What is that key that we're trying to fix?
Yeah, so I built my game on accuracy. I don't like spraying the ball around the golf course. And at the end of the bag, I've got a driver and a mini driver. The mini driver will probably get parked for the winter. And I've got a 5-wood I've been trying out, a friend has lent me, which I'm struggling with a bit. But I really top out with my 4 hybrid, which is 195 carry.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to really get a bit more height.
Yeah.
With the next club up in the bag. And I'm really ideally want a 215 to 220 carry on that, which is a long way for me. You know, typically my driver's probably a 235. Oh, real good one, 240 carry.
Yeah.
That's about it. So knowing the distances is really important to me. So that's you know, again, why I'm here. Because I can't have inconsistencies in the club. When I deliver the club, it's got to go how it's supposed to go. So yeah, so basically I need to plug a gap between driver and the 4 hybrid.
And as an approach shot club rather than just a kind of a teeing off option.
Yeah, basically fairways, so I can actually launch it into a green from typically a really long par 4 or the shorter par 5 option. So I've actually got an option to go for it. You know, forget about this summer where the ball's running miles anyway. For everyone, it's really the normal conditions.
Yeah.
You know, can I get that ball? You know, higher flight than a 4 hybrid. I'm ideally expecting to see about 30 feet more height on the apex than the 4 hybrid. And you know, 215, 220, anywhere like that, and I'm happy because I can still get some run out if I deliver it slightly different anyway.
Got it. Well, pretty clear mission for me. So let's get cracking, see if we can do it for you.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's get a couple more of this just to make sure we get the spin number. Good contact. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so that's in that. There's a little more to come, that's in the 190 range, but
yeah, it's picking these up better, isn't it?
Yes, ever since they started doing the RCTs, they're not as reliable with the dots.
Let's stick with these then.
No.
It doesn't make any difference.
Nice. Yeah, it's a very stable club, isn't it? Yeah, so that one's drifted a little. There's a little bit of ball speed loss on that one, but you're in that kind of one. So slight misses 186, 187. Solid one's gonna be 195, and it's very much a moderate spin. So it's in a very kind of, I guess relative to the club, it's on the slightly lower half of mid, but it's, you know, you've got a nice launch angles, nice pitch of flight. You know, previous shot there. You know, 14.5, 3.5, 80 odd feet. You know, it's a nice sort of for UK ball flight.
Yeah.
You know, if we're in Arizona, we'd want it higher, but in terms of for over here, so I sort of mid launch, but then slightly lower mid spin. So it's actually quite an efficient ball flight, which is nice.
Yep.
But very, very stable directionally. Yep. But as you say, kind of for a lot of the courses here, if your driver's getting you out to sort of 260 odd, then you know, a longer par 4 or shorter par 5. You then get in that sort of 480 region, want something that can pitch you to a green. So.
Yeah, and you're right. That's me about driver 260, 270 would be it.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't live in a fancy land. I hit it miles. I hit it 260, 270. That's it.
Yeah.
You know, probably more 260 than 270, but it's important I know the yardages. I don't really care too much how far they go. I've got to know how far it goes so I can get around a golf course.
Yeah, strategize. So we'll get a couple with the 5 wood you've been borrowing as well, because that'll give us at least a start point on the wood. Okay.
Drop kick.
Slightly less distance than the top.
Okay. Yeah, it's interesting with this one, you know, looking at kind of setup of it, where the hybrid that you like is sort of around the to 80 odd gram mark. Same with actually the other hybrid with the even flow, that's an 80 gram shaft.
Yeah.
This one's down at 60, 65. It's on the lighter side. And actually it looks, as you're coming into the ball, it looks like you just lose the club a little bit, hence it just wants to bottom out.
Yep.
Interesting to see one more with it, but yeah, I think look, the shot you've described, the wood head in principle makes a lot of sense because of getting that elevation, getting the carry and the flight on it.
Yeah, the CG being lower, way
Yeah.
lower on the club.
And actually generally angle of attack not being overly steep, you might cover it a little bit, but you're not smashing down onto it. And in theory, woodhead should suit that well.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, I can see it just lose it on the way
Yeah,
down.
and
So I like, yeah, so the principle of the 5 wood makes a lot of sense, but I can see where there's just not enough to hit against there, and then you're having to sort of steer at it. So I think kind of first case is let's certainly have a look at the 5 wood, you know, the natural kind of loft gain 5 wood to the 22 hybrid.
Yep.
That should give us the distance gain. Also going a little bit lighter, longer shaft, there's a club speed gain. So all the elements that should go together to give you that carry distance you want, the 5 wood should work for that well. So let's get something that's a little more appropriate setup than that. I've gone noticeably back up in terms of shaft weight.
I like the length.
So we won't not all the demos will be this length. Some will be a little bit longer.
Yep.
But this one we're down at 41.5. So it's a ½ inch shorter than your current 5 wood.
Okay.
But shaft weight we've taken up. So you know the thing like with the irons, with the hybrids, there's a bit of dead weight in all of them.
Yeah.
It just they just don't swing overly head heavy.
Yeah.
But where you're kind of much more kind of body turn, it's not like a flip with the hands. Actually using that weight to be able to just keep driving through on it. That's the problem with this one is it kind of gets lost halfway down.
Yeah.
So I've taken weight up reasonable amount, about 15 grams, 15, 17 grams. So it's quite a decent bit of extra weight.
I felt better straight away.
Okay, interesting from a spin point of view, but that might be. We'll see for another one whether that's a misread or not.
I don't think that was a good. That was a good hit.
Okay, looks like it's just dropping in behind. I'll watch one more of that. That might have just pushed the weight a bit too far.
Let's see.
Yeah, it looks like he just. I mean, that one it looks like he's just having to get it there a little bit. So okay.
The first one was good.
Yeah, so we got a slightly kind of quirky spin read on it, but yeah, that last one looked like I mean, club speed's the same, but it looked like you had to just get the club there a little bit. So that just then loses a bit of face control and stops you building the speed up because it starts to then get separated. So at least we found top out pretty quickly. You know, that one there, that spins a little low, but that's also got the face turning on it. But that does highlight where the lofted wood is the thing that's going to get us that elevation that can hopefully start to get a bit of trust in it, build the speed up a little bit. Then that'll start to see the carry moving out towards the 210 mark.
Yeah.
The previous shaft we went load heavier than the current 5 wood, which matches more where the hybrids are. So Adams generally through his hybrids and irons requires a bit of weight to hit against, and the 60 gram in the 5 wood he's borrowing is a little light. So we went up to 77, 78, just started to drop behind. So I've just gone to a shaft that takes us back down to kind of 70 or just over 70 grams. So just to give a little bit, help it come through a little bit more easily, because it just looked like I had to fetch the last one through. So should allow us to clear through and develop a bit more speed without having to just get the club at the ball. If we can get that, that'll start to see the ball speed creep up, carry distance creep up. So just make it a bit easier to just kind of whip it through without having to fetch it. But all the while trying to keep a bit of flight on it through the shaft as well. Okay, that moved more easily.
Yeah, that felt.
And that you see immediately is
that
up.
did feel a lot better.
Okay. that was taking about 6 or 7 grams back out. So we're still over 70 grams.
Yep.
So still best part of 8 to 10 grams heavier than the current shaft setup. But just making it pretty even weighting as well.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that was a good start.
But immediately we've seen launch angle pick up, which is good.
No, that's me.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so after the first one, the second one had a little bit more on it and just lost it slightly. So where the first swing looked really easy, then you gain a bit of trust and confidence and effectively carry on going with the swing.
Yeah.
So actually I need just to bring it up just a little bit more.
I'll just swing a bit easier again. There you go.
Yeah, I think with that you still just got to rein it back a little bit. I think we need to give you just a touch more to hit against there. So
yeah, I think the thing for me as well is I've got to remember it's a wood, not a hybrid or an iron, and I've got to actually sweep a bit more as well.
A little bit. I mean, with that country, we found sort of top and bottom end of a workable window pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So it's just then find that middle ground. If we can get it around the 73-4 gram mark, that just then, so 70, this one at 77, 78, pushing 80 because it just drops underneath. And that one, the first one where you just got to see what happens, smooth it away. Oh, that's nice. And then, yeah.
Give it a bit more.
It's one of those, the natural instinct is going to be right, I can commit to this.
Yeah.
And then it just wasn't there for you. Yeah. So really quite a small switch over in weight. So let's see, let's find a shaft that narrow window.
Yeah, I guess I've been coming to see Simon and James since 2009. I struggled with my driver. I couldn't hit a driver basically. One of my friends was using James and Simon at the time, said come down and see the guys. I did, and quite frankly, it transformed my driving. And now I'm a very, very good driver of a golf ball. And the thing about coming here is it removes any guesswork. And the reality of it is you're able to trust in the club, trust how it's delivered every time. And if it's not right, it isn't the club, it's you. These things are built, the name of the business, precise. This is precision golf tools that we're talking about now. And Simon's now going to mess around with weights. We'll eventually start messing around with the grip size for me as well. And the enjoyment it gives me is that knowing that when I pick the club up, it's going to do what I need it to do and what I expect it to do. And I've been coming here for a long time now, or the other facility and here now for a long time, and it's really, for me, the trust that I can put in James and Simon to fit me, and James and his team to build the clubs as they needed to be. It's just done right. And could I buy clubs cheaper? Yeah. Will they be the same? No. And the thing is, if you want to invest your time and your money, I mean, the first driver I got me driving, and then it lasted 9 years, and I paid a lot of money, but actually, the overall costs for the club was cheap. So, invest your time, invest a bit more money, and you're going to have some tools that you can rely on for many, many years, so long as you don't like the new shiny stuff, which unfortunately most golfers do. But yeah.
Right. So just taking that deadwetter shaft back up a few grams again now, so should give a little bit more to hit against.
That felt a more powerful flight.
Okay. Good. I've just strike-wise lost a hair of strike, but good lines through the ball.
Again, same thing. Felt powerful, not launched. I don't know what the data's showing.
Just change the head weight very slightly. Just looks like you're having just. I like the.
It feels there's a lot of weight at the bottom.
The club looks with you, but the head looks like you're having just to wrestle it a little bit. So I'm just going to change the head weight very slightly.
Yes, that's a better weight.
Yeah. So I took 2 grams out of the head. So went from a 6 gram in the back to a 4 gram in the back, because it just looked like Adam was having just to get the head there very slightly, which for him creates a bit of a tug. Whereas taking the head weight down a little bit, a couple of grams, that just means there's not having to make a correction at the ball, so it can just turn onto it and collect it. So dropped just over half a swing weight point.
Definitely feel as I can get this through.
Yeah. A little lower on the face, we can start to see ball speed creeping up. I'll watch one more with that.
Yep.
It's close.
Deliberately trying to do that.
Yeah, it's close. Okay, I won't put that one away yet. I'll come back to that.
That's okay, because I can feel that change in weight has enabled me to get through it easier.
Yeah.
And that one I tried last there is what I want to be able to do anyway. I want to be able to feel that I can hold it a bit off.
Okay.
Just to bunt it up in the air at times.
Got it. So just a marginal change. It's sort of crept a hair heavier, but
the head's heavier. The head's heavier.
Okay, so balance point's just shifted down the club. Okay, we'll see whether that gets that dropped in behind. So subtle change in shaft balance point. Yeah. So you can't afford to let that weight get in the bottom of the shaft.
I can feel it.
That can come out
I can
straight
feel
away.
it as soon as I do that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm very feel oriented on the club heads.
So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to scour the walls and collect 2 or 3 that are the relevant ones. So that Ventus red's very, very close. If it's not spot on, it's very close. But we've got a pretty definite narrow window on the shafts.
Yeah, this feels better.
Okay.
This instantly feels more balanced for me.
Got it. Yeah, I managed to get the weight away from the toe end.
Yeah, I don't like feeling a plumb bob at the bottom. There's big heavy weight there.
Yeah. Definitely cleaner move, a little heel side, I think. But
yeah, it was.
Cleaner, definitely cleaner through. You lost that need to flip at it.
Yeah. There you go. That's quite good. I'm feeling I can trust this a bit.
Okay. Yeah.
That felt low and powerful left.
A little lower on the face. Okay. Okay. It's. I think, is it better than the Ventus? It's in consideration. It might be that a different head just gets the ball speed up a little bit.
Yeah. Well, this is max at the minute, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I've not got a problem with. It gets the job done.
Yeah, it's solid. It's solid. Definitely a couple of other heads.
It's not as high launching as I thought it might be.
No, the 430 was definitely a higher launching, higher spinning product.
Okay.
This one actually launches relatively well, but it's not as spinny. So it's something that we found with the 440s. We've had to go more loft than we did in the 430s to get the spin. So we've done a lot of forwards in them instead of 3-woods.
Yeah. What have you got? And that's the thing I was wondering, is it a 5 or a 4-wood as well?
Depends on the head a little bit. Yeah, it's on with this one, because of where the spin sits. It would be the gut feels it would be the 5.
Yep.
But in something like for example, if it were a GT2, then you might well be in the forward.
Okay. Which number did you give me in the TPT?
So this one's the 17 high.
Yeah.
Okay, good ball speed.
think in this one, that's 18.
Yeah.
I think, and the
the
driver's
18 hybrid.
17.
Yeah.
Yes, this is.
Yeah, ball speed's a little.
This is definitely getting there.
So that's now near, that's 207, but we're just under 16 launch. 3.3 on spin, so it's whether, from a stopping power point of view, a little more spin will give a bit more stopping power, but we're starting to see ball speeds now much more where we need to. That looks cleaner through the ball. It looks like you can carry on going with it.
This feels right to me.
Yeah.
This just feels right. The whole thing, I have confidence that
Yeah.
I'm not steering it.
Yeah, and both of those first one was a little bit drawn over, but actually that one then just really simple through the ball. Whereas all the others you could see, even that last one, you could see just having a feel for it a little bit more.
And I'm wondering if, because I hit that so much, that 4 hybrid with the TPT in it, I'm used to the feel of TPT as well.
A little bit, be a smoother feel for sure.
Yeah.
That single ply definitely adds a level of smoothness and responsiveness. But they kind of actually play lower torque than their measurements.
Yeah.
They definitely play more stable impact than the measurements for sure.
I love them.
And with the Sharpie motor, is it a fairly standard Sharpie?
Yeah, this is easy to repeat.
Yeah,
This is easy to repeat.
on it each time. Okay, so that's pretty useful. I think I'm going to get a different head just to see what that does, because from where you're timing that, I mean, face to path 0.0, face to path 1 degree. Those last couple. So the first one was turned over a little bit. But those next two are just absolutely lasered down the line, and it looks zero effort to deliver the club head.
No.
It's whether from a head point of view, can we squeeze just a hair more ball speed just to get the extra kind of 5 or 6 yards of carry.
So the first thing I'd say, it feels like it sits really flat on floor. This.
Yeah.
It feels though I can really get into the ball, and I've not got that, as you say, on the rounded U-shaped soles, a tiny hitting area. It feels though I've got a lot to go for on this.
That's where a bit like the thing is the Callaways, the last couple of models, they've shallowed the faces out, but they've definitely flattened that sole down, so they sit really nice and neat.
Yeah, this does. I mean, for me, this is confidence inspiring. Whether I can hit it or not is a different thing, but.
Interesting.
That was
Well,
me.
might just need to. I heard safe on head weight. I might just need to add a hair of head weight.
I might be saying the other way.
Okay.
Let's just have another one. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay. Good ball speed.
That's fine. That is.
Okay. So if anything, what they've done with their tungsten speed wave at the front, I use the verticomers because that's their kind of tech, what they call it, the tech. Bit of tungsten at the front of the head, that gives it a nice solid feeling, probably more solid feel than the ping. And actually their ball speed 148 efficiency. So I've actually gone down a little bit in loft. This is the forward but turned up one, so we're at kind of 17.5 relative to stated loft. But the head's retaining a little bit more spin.
Yep.
But by turning the loft down a little bit, there's a hair more ball speed.
Yeah.
So that's a start. So the launch is less high, the spin's up a little bit. We've got a bit more ball speed. And it's whether that, if we can get, if the club speed goes to where it was with the ping, which is up another mile an hour and a half, pushing 2 miles an hour, you get another 3 or 4 ball speed. All of a sudden, then we're at that 210 mark.
Yeah.
But 90 odd feet, land angles. If we go into those sort of numbers. Over 40.
Yep, that's good.
That's in a nice window. There's enough flight and spin to get some control. If we let the spin get up too much, then it'll stall it, and then you lose the distance bit. So, but we're a good 10 to 15 yards on now from where the hybrid's going to get to.
The smash factor, there's not a lot I'm going to gain there, is there?
No, we might. I mean, technically that one's faded a little bit. Square it up, picks up the 1 or 2 miles an hour, but 1.5 is going to be, especially with the loft we're at.
Yeah.
Getting a full 1.5 out of that's going to be going to be going some 148. I'll take all day long.
Yeah, well, that's what I thought. Yeah,
but
because
yeah,
it's
it's
normally
a good
drivers in at 1.5.
Yeah, yeah. Now because of the tech they can put in fairway woods, they're not limited in the same way the driver faces are. So we're starting to see more of the 150s coming in fairway woods now as well. You know, the smaller face means they can go more responsive.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's on the upper limit that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's not. Does that visually does that head sit better than the pin because it's a bit shallower?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The head feels to me as though it's really flat on the floor, and there's some visuals that they're doing here, and how they sculpt away the back here. It almost makes it feel as though the back of it's actually on the floor. I don't know if it is or not, but it feels as though the whole thing is on the floor.
Right. Okay.
As though it's sloped back to, front to back, and it's just flat on the floor, which is a great feeling. Someone like me, that actually isn't great with fairway woods, and actually needs to pick up the confidence of how the club lies, and that you just put it down behind the ball. And it addresses itself nicely. So Simon, this one, whilst I love how it sits, as in flat to the floor, this one appears open to me.
Okay, yeah. So something with their settings, we can use the Callaway settings just to turn that in a little bit.
It just feels as though it's a degree open compared with the other one.
Got it, yeah.
And I don't like that, because that will then encourage me right hand square the club face.
So let's see, so on this hosel I don't have the option, on the Callaway one we do just to toe that in. So we'll see what it does performance wise to make it, see whether it's worth, what's the word, continuing with, or there's a word that's better for that.
There's only one way to find out. Let's hit it. No TaylorMade? Not feeling that for me?
Sole shape, I don't think it's going to sit as comfortable. I think they're a good head. Yeah. Certainly, I'm not sure it's going to sit as comfortably for you. However, it's not to say we won't test it.
Okay.
Because performance-wise, been a very, very solid head. It's whether it gives us the spin that we need from it without having to manipulate the lofts too much.
But again, I still like how this sits low to the floor. Have you got weight in the bottom of that?
No, not collecting as well. Maybe where it's a little bit of a deeper head. It's not as into the bottom of the ball as well.
It felt heavier.
Right.
When I was swinging it, it didn't feel heavy when I put it at the ground, but when I started moving it, it felt heavier straight away. It felt as though there was, and as you say, then I'm going to have to move it more. I'm going to start changing my swing. And for me, as you say, that means lurching the body, which isn't.
And just didn't collect the ball as well. Too. So it's a deeper head. So from a head point of view, you've got there's more depth there. Whereas that sits shallow, the weight sits down below the CG of the ball. Just for you, collects it better. So the moment, even though in theory it's got a heavy sole, we've got to get that shallower head profile to get it into the bottom of the ball. As a more kind of due diligence, I'll get the TaylorMade and I'll see, but it's more along the depth of that.
Okay. So this sits, it's not as good as Callaway because the toe's in the air.
Yep. Definitely a little more upright.
Definitely up in the air, which I guess, if anything for me, is then going to be.
I mean, even if it doesn't, if it's putting that thought in your head.
That's it.
But as you say, it's still a bit of a deeper head. It's still visually got more of that kind of upward slant up in the toe, kind of rounds up a little bit more.
Yeah.
So even if the actual kind of sole lie is the same, because the toe rounds up a bit more, it looks like it sits up a touch more as well.
I'll tell you what though, it's not bad.
Although
it did feel like that.
What's quite interesting was what you potentially, that's the reaction to the visual, felt you had to do to get the thing airborne. It looked like you kind of just made darn sure that you worked the face underneath and cut it up. It's not into the bottom of the ball. I'm going to prop the Callaway head back on because I think we're going to struggle to beat that one.
No, that's right. That's me, that is. That's old cover drive.
Huh. Just take a fraction of head weight off that. Just a fraction.
It feels as... You didn't put any more on, did you?
No. It looks like I have.
It feels
looks like
it
I
feels
did,
like you
but,
have to. But then that's
no.
from going to one to the other.
Yeah, and you kind of... Yeah, it's interesting, maybe those first swings were just that little bit freer, a little more positive. Got it through, but that one looked slightly harder work to time than the first batch. I've taken just a gram or so off.
No, Adam.
Take your time. Yeah, so what we've learned so far is the shallower heads definitely sit better, definitely get into the bottom of the ball better. First batch of tests with this setup went really, really well. It was very, very clean. Then when we went back to it, just didn't look quite as neat. But I want to, the grip that we've gone to a +4 grip, so thicker in the bottom hand. Adam's other hybrids and woods all have that thicker bottom hand, whereas we were in a standard mid-size for that previous testing. So I just wanted to see whether the thicker bottom hand just helps to quieten off through the ball, because the good hits with this setup earlier were absolutely bang on where I want to see them, and looked in a really good spot. But then going to a different head coming back didn't look quite as good. So just seeing where, if we go to a grip that's more familiar, does that help just to sort of essentially kind of quieten things down, sort of stop Adam having a feel for it a little bit, because so the good hits earlier were, I was thinking, well, this is it. So, and then we went back to it and didn't look as good. So.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, that's the best ball speed of anything.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So, and again, that's the one that's a little bit fadey, so slightly a weaker shot, and that's still 206.
I'm okay with that.
But immediately we see the speed free up, ball speeds. That's the best of anything we've had. So it just goes to show, in terms of get that feel in the hands comfortable.
Yeah.
It takes that, if you get the grip size off, and therefore it can be a comfort thing. It can make the hands start to do things we don't want them to do.
Well, I need to feel where the club head is. So that's for me. I need to understand where it is. I know it's only fractions of seconds, but that really does change on how I react at the bottom.
Yeah.
That was a bit drop kicky.
Got a hair behind it, yeah. Sort of half a groove low.
Yeah, I wouldn't want it back.
Yeah. I mean,
I wouldn't want it back.
A couple of yards shy. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But definitely going back, putting this grip on.
Yeah.
This looks now like the first batch of hits.
Yeah.
This now looks like the swing with the hybrid you were doing earlier, where there's just nothing really going, nothing going on through the ball. Previous shot just got a little behind it, but they're all, from a line point of view, that faded a touch, the last one, but they're just back on line a little bit more easily.
Yeah.
It's almost just going to be same as the driver.
Should go a bit left, left.
Yeah,
right.
so just got the cutty one, and you can see where if you get the cutty one, then up goes the spin.
Yeah, up goes spin, distance
and then
comes
that's
down.
just come right back. So
that's expected.
But
that's not the club.
That also then gives you, I mean, the other bit it gives you is, if you've got a shot where you've really got to stop it quick at your hybrid length, well, that you can cut that one up, and that's coming in for 100 feet, and
yeah.
it's got the same spin as
so
a
190, 195.
5 iron,
I want
6
to just
iron.
stop it real quick.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Then you've got that you can cut the legs out from under and kick it up in the air, and it's coming down with snow on it.
Bit toey, probably not delivered as quick.
Yeah, but so lost a bit of ball speed, lost a bit of spin, but actually in terms of carry 207, so it's gonna that one, the toe one, will run out a little bit more, but that's still, because it kept the launch, it still kept it in the air long enough.
And what I'm noticing is I'm getting more familiar with the club, hitting this one more.
Yeah.
My club head speed's going up now.
Yeah, and all that does is then opens up a little more flight, a little bit more stopping power, a little more carry. Just makes it easier and easier to achieve the distance and the stopping power that we're trying to from the club. Yeah.
That has smashed.
So yeah, so very, very happy with those end results. We've got the benchmark of the hybrid that was such a comfortable club, and really trying to keep it, like from my point of view, we're saying, well, we've got to try and keep it as similar to that as possible. Now, we've ended up with the same family of shafts, which isn't always the case. You know, quite appropriately, nature's colours for danger as well. But you know, the moment we switched into that shaft, things tied it up. The moment we switched into that head, strike tied it up, and then grip was just the last piece of the jigsaw. But hitting that 210 odd mark, 210 pushing 214 carry comfortably off the deck. That was that bit that at the beginning we said, well, that's the jigsaw piece we need to fill. So yeah, happy with that result.
Yeah, and that for me, you know, as I say, this for me, someone who's uncomfortable with fairway woods, hitting off a really tight lie is, you know, the worst possible scenario you could present me with, and you know, and it's good that, you know, we can do this, you know, in the worst scenario, because you know, particularly in winter, you know, hopefully the club comes soon, you're teeing it up on preferred lies, and all of a sudden it's just smash time, you know, and that well, that's it, you know, and it'd be interesting to see an awful little tee as well, you know, at times over some of the longer par threes you play into a wind, you know, what can you do with that? So, no, I mean, really happy with it, you know, really happy once we've got the, as you say, the grip, and it just felt familiar to me. And I know, as you say, I don't really care what shaft I get. I do like the TPT shafts, I like their tech, but I couldn't care less. I just want to know how the ball goes, and I want the ball to go as good as it can, you know. And it just so happens we ended back there. But it did feel the thing I would say, it did feel really familiar with me once you put that in. The feel of the shaft and how it gets delivered is really, really consistent with a couple of the other clubs. So I was really happy with that.
It actually, you know, just matching the shaft isn't always a guarantee of that. Actually, TPT do match them well through the Red Range series, as these two are. But as you say, this is a club that fairway woods are something that generally stick in people's bags. You look at the top players, you look at someone, so you get one you like. They don't really need to change too much because they do a job. And so, getting something that can feel so comfortable when you haven't been comfortable with them, that's great. And so hopefully that'll show out on the golf course, and just look out from 220 yards out because he's sticking it on the green. So yeah, great fun, so. Great fun. Always a fun fit, especially going into the detail that we did as well. That's what we do, but it's always lovely to get someone who basks in that part of it.
I love the data.
Great fun to have you. So
no,
thank you very much.
Simon. Thank you.